His name was Tsutomu Yamaguchi. He was an ordinary engineer. He had a normal job, a family, and a simple life. But in August 1945, he experienced something no human should ever experience. He survived not one, but two atomic bombs. This is his true story. In the summer of 1945, World War II was coming to its final stage. Japan was still fighting, but its cities were already heavily damaged from air raids. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was 29 years old at the time. He worked as a marine engineer for Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. His job required him to travel between cities. In early August 1945, he was sent on a business trip to the city of Hiroshima. He spent several months there working on ship design projects. By August 6, 1945, his work was finished. He was preparing to return home to his wife and baby son in Nagasaki. He had no idea that his life was about to change forever. On the morning of August 6, 1945, at around 8:15 a.m., Yamaguchi was walking toward the shipyard. It was a clear, bright morning. Suddenly, he heard the sound of an airplane above him. He looked up and saw a single American B-29 bomber flying across the sky. Moments later, he saw a flash. It was brighter than anything he had ever seen in his life. He later described it as looking like the sun had exploded. The atomic bomb, called Little Boy, exploded over Hiroshima. Within seconds, a powerful shock wave threw him into the air. The blast knocked him to the ground. The heat burned parts of his body. His ears were badly damaged. He was injured, confused, and in pain. When he stood up, the city around him was gone. Buildings had collapsed. Fires were everywhere. People were screaming. Smoke filled the sky. Hiroshima had been destroyed in seconds. Around 140,000 people would eventually die from that bomb. But somehow, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was still alive. He spent the night in terrible conditions. He was injured and weak. The city was in chaos. There was no electricity, no medical care, and no clear information about what had happened. He did not even fully understand what kind of weapon had been used. But he knew one thing. He had to go home. His wife and baby son were waiting for him in Nagasaki. Despite his injuries, he found a train station that was still operating. Amazingly, the railway system was partially functioning again the next day. On August 7th, he boarded a train and returned to Nagasaki. Yamaguchi finally arrived home. His family was shocked to see his injuries. His body was burned and he was weak. The next day, August 8th, he went to his workplace to report what had happened in Hiroshima. He told his supervisor about the bomb. He explained how one explosion had destroyed an entire city. But his supervisor did not believe him. It sounded impossible. How could a single bomb destroy everything? No one could imagine such a weapon. On the morning of August 9th, 1945, Tsutomu Yamaguchi was in his office, explaining the Hiroshima explosion. At 11:02 a.m., something unbelievable happened. He saw another bright flash. Again, it was blinding. Again, it was followed by a massive explosion. The United States had dropped a second atomic bomb called Fat Man on Nagasaki. The shockwave hit the city with enormous force. Buildings collapsed. Fires spread everywhere. Thousands of people died instantly. And once again, Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived. He was injured again, but he was alive. He had now survived both atomic bombs. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki forced Japan to surrender. World War II ended shortly afterward. The world had entered the nuclear age. Yamaguchi returned to his normal life as much as possible. But his health was permanently affected. He suffered from radiation sickness and other long-term health problems. For many years, he lived quietly. He worked, raised his family, and tried to move forward. He did not talk much about his experience. There were other people who were present in both cities, but Tsutomu Yamaguchi was the only person officially recognized by the Japanese government as a survivor of both atomic bombings. In 2009, Japan officially confirmed his status. His story became known around the world. He began speaking publicly about his experience. He did not speak with anger. He spoke with a message of peace. He wanted the world to understand the horror of nuclear weapons. He hoped such destruction would never happen again. Tsutomu Yamaguchi lived a long life. Despite everything he went through, he survived for decades after the war. He passed away on January 4th, 2010, at the age of 93. His life remains one of the most extraordinary survival stories in human history. He was not a soldier. He was not a hero in the traditional sense. He was simply a man who survived the impossible. He saw 2 atomic explosions with his own eyes. He lived through both. His story is not just about survival. It is a reminder of the devastating power of war and a reminder of the strength of the human spirit.